All right, here we're going to take some time to shine some light on just what Damion Lee brings to the Phoenix Suns and what's unique about his approach and how he goes about maneuvering offensively specifically. He can be trusted on the defensive end of the floor for one thing, which is especially for a shooter coming off the bench. That's a rare thing. He can be trusted to execute multiple coverages in rotation or on the ball, and he can also be trusted to contain the ball and play with activity. And that's just something that, again, especially when you're looking at players that are on the fringe of a rotation, potentially for a playoff rotation, that's an added bonus when you can have a shooter that can do more than just shoot, that can have event-causing movements on the offensive side of the ball, or also, like I mentioned, be trusted to play defense and not be a liability out there on the floor. That's an important entity and dynamic to have in a player like Damion Lee. So we're going to go ahead and shine some light on his game as we dive into the film. All right, in this first play here, we're going to see, as I talked about in the opening, being able to do more than just shoot. So we're going to see him coming here. He's going to kick it to the second side, and then watch as he adjusts his position and he backs up to what's the proverbial 4-point line. But he can also shoot this if need be, but he wasn't feeling the shot here at this juncture of the game. So he used that space to generate an advantage and opportunity to get downhill. And it's not just getting downhill with a straight line drive, because he can have nuanced drives as well, which we're going to see here as he attacks Jokic off the stampede. Does a great job, boom, changing the direction, taking the angle, and stealing it from Joker, and then turning him around and taking away the second angle on this Euro step with the crossover overhead as well. This is a specific movement that Dwayne Wade was great at in terms of Euro steps, but also being able to do the overhead crossover to gain advantage on the angle to go finish at the basket. Damion Lee has a little bit of that in his game, and we see it here on this play here, attacking the close. This is just a great play again, late in the shot clock, making something out of nothing. All right, and then this one's going to have a little bit of redundance to it. This is going to be the same situation. He's going to back up to the proverbial 4-point line and then use that space that he could definitely shoot off of to instead gain advantage in getting downhill against Aaron Gordon this time. And this time it's going to be more of a straight line drive. He gets the angle, gets the leverage with his shoulders. But look at the nuance and the subtleties here as he gets into the contact and then steps away. Look at this fake shot that he throws up to steal the angle from Aaron Gordon, to at least give himself a chance to play it off the glass. And he sneaks this one in and finishes. I don't think people understood or noticed in real time just how impressive of a bucket with a capital B that this was. Again, getting late in the shot clock, it gets off the separation with contact, and then look at the fake here. Boom, right there. Helps him get the slightest bit of an angle to then kiss this off the glass and sneak it in. Just very impressive. Doing things outside of the game besides just shooting three-pointers. It's just very impressive. All right, and next we're going to get into what I talked about in the opening, which is his event-causing movements. Look at this. He absolutely loses Bruce Brown, and then that forces Josh Okogie's man to step up and take over for him, and that puts the Nuggets in the rotation late in the shot clock. So, again, we get here. There's nothing there off the initial pass on the inbound. He looks like he's going to go throw and get. And then he fakes that. And that misdirection leaves Bruce Brown absolutely discarded. This is just as bad as a crossover because of the advantage that it generates. And then he has the wherewithal to not just create shots for himself, but make +1 passes and be a connector in a sense, as he does here, to get it to Okogie for the finish. Again, late in the shot clock. All right, and then here, this is a staple of the Suns' offense, but he's just as good as anyone else is at noticing these things in terms of what the defense is doing to load up and help sink and fill, and how to split those rotations on the cut. And he does so here on the 45, splitting at the elbow here to get in position for this quick soft touch floater before the Nuggets can even locate and recognize where he is within their rotations. All right, this next play here we're going to see, again, just so much more of what makes him such a key cog, especially at the fringes of a rotation. Look at this. He is essentially a remnant of the Golden State Warriors that floated around and was available for everyone to pick up. And the Suns had the wherewithal to notice what a gem he is. He's spotted up second side here. They skip it to force a rotation, and now he's playing within the advantage. And how do you play within the advantage? He doesn't just attack the closeout. He has the vision to see second side and reverse it back to where it came from to Dario Saric. But that's not it, because the job's not done. You're most effective, as the Warriors will all tell you, especially Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole, you're most effective in those essential golden moments after you make a pass as the defense relaxes. He makes the pass, the defense relaxes, and now he's completely unaccounted for on the relocation. And he does so at that pace that's signature to how Golden State goes about functioning on the offensive end of the floor. And the Suns have added so much value in attaining a player of his type to be able to do so at the pace and with the frenetic energy that he has operating on the offensive side of the ball. These little plays like that, again, especially when games and stakes get raised on the playoff stage, are going to be absolutely invaluable. All right, and this next play here is going to be another peek into his IQ and some of the feel and flavor that he brings from the Golden State system to the Suns. So here we get a steal in transition, and usually coaches love to harp on players getting ahead of the ball and sprinting to fill lanes in transition. Again, ahead of the ball if you can. That's true for most situations. However, in this situation with him, you can see the dynamic playing out as he's in the middle of the floor by the Warriors logo here. He could have sprinted ahead, and that would have kind of made the look and generating an advantage on this transition play an opportunity to look a little different. Instead, he lags behind to then trail. And look at the gravity that he carries with him as he trails. As he trails, that opens up an opportunity for a pitch and then like a little screen here, a little drag screen here from Ish Wainwright, which is, again, very smart and keen off-script play here. The advantage is then going to be created as he's able to get downhill, and he gets, with momentum moving forward, a nice look in the mid-range, and he knocks it down. All right, this next play here again, the event-causing off-script movement that he brings to the offense late in the shot clock. We're at 10 seconds left on the clock here. He's going to go throw, and it looks like he's going to go back door, and that ends up completely discarding the Jordan Poole, creating separation for him, and then jump to the other side. Now this is essentially like an under and pick and roll or a dribble handoff. He gets the under, and you know what he does with unders. He's knocking that down. All right, in this next play here, we're going to see some more high IQ play. So, again, the little things and the nuance within his game are just so impressive. Again, coming from a role player, a player that's on the fringe of a rotation, getting these spark plays in minute-by-minute stretches, and especially when the stakes are raised and in the playoffs, is going to continue to prove to be invaluable, as it already has in numerous occasions this season for the Suns. So here he's going to flow into an empty corner dribble handoff here with Landale. And then look at the nuance, the subtleties. So he gets the switch, it's a late switch. And look at the slight hesitation that he gives upon receiving the dribble handoff that forces Kevon Looney to close out because he's a shooter, but also get out of his stance, opening the gates for him to enabling himself to get baseline. And now he's playing within the advantage again. He gets baseline, and now it's not just making the easy pass, but playing within the advantage to add to the advantage. Josh Okogie's here in the corner, and he can skip it to him, especially late in the shot clock. That would have been wise for him to get at least a decent look. But no, he's going to still continue to beat the rotation with this wraparound pass, all with his left hand to get it to Ish Wainwright for the basket. Just the subtleties and the little things that Damion Lee brings to the Suns on the offensive side of the floor is just completely invaluable. The event-causing movements that he has without the ball, the little things he does with the ball, and the skill that he brings, and just the general trustworthiness and steadiness and dynamic that he brings, and being able to be a viable option to add to the rotation on offense or defense, but also execute things within the half court as well on defense.